don't skip along in the video yet, because you're going to be in the comment section like, where's my guy? How is he not included? And it'll be because you didn't listen to this first part. I'm giving you my top 10 quarterbacks plus an honorable mention. But you could check out the full rankings at ftfn.com. And if you don't already follow the YouTube, go follow the Twitch, man. We do a lot of good work there. You get a lot of different football opinions. It's just a great community to be a part of. And there are guys that if you go to my full rankings, you'll see I have guys that I didn't include in the rankings that I said they shouldn't declare yet as well. The guys that I think that are going to return for their 2021 season. So go check out the full rankings if you want more context on that. But boy, this quarterback class is going to be a banger. As many as potentially 6 potential first round picks. It's insane. So without further ado, let's do the gosh dang thing. There we go. What's crack-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, even if you don't, and if you just appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears I put into this dang thing, then dang it, give it a freaking thumbs up and comment below, and let's have some good, fun chit chat while we're at it. So, here we are. Let me go ahead and just throw my honorable mention out there, and Shane Buechele out of Southern Methodist SMU. The guy, he's just a slinger, man. The dude's got a cannon for an arm. It's just his mechanics aren't that great, but I mean, that type of thing's fixable at the NFL level. But keep in mind, this is a guy that's been in football for basically 5 years, and it's just he lacks patience in the pocket. He rushes throws very often, and I mean, over the past year and a half, I think 27% of his catches have been deemed uncatchable. So the accuracy issues over 5 years in college, not seeing real much improvement there. It makes him really just a late day 3 pick. So there's your honorable mention. Let's get into the top 10. And we're going to start with Kellen Mond, man. Disclaimer here. You got to watch out for those Jimbo Fisher guys, man. Like, straight up, they're deceiving. Let's take a look at Jimbo Fisher quarterbacks that have been drafted. We're just going to go over the first round ones. But, dude, let's start with Jamarcus Russell. Ugh. That might be the biggest bust of all time. Let's continue. Oh, who else is on this? Christian Ponder, man. EJ Manuel. Like, dude, you don't even need to say more after that. But probably the best quarterback he's produced has been Jameis Winston. Take that however you want. I'm just saying, he doesn't got a great track record, and I know a lot of people really are high on Kellen Mond this year. I mean, his stats have been really good. He's thrown 18 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Keep in mind, though, a lot of what he's doing in that offense, it's screen or underneath, you know, it's not that impressive. Like, this is a guy, like, you'd be like, oh, he's better this year. It's because he's not throwing the ball far. It's a guy that has struggled with accuracy throughout his career. He's struggled in like, there's been inconsistencies when it comes to the big time, the big game moment, you know. But he comes from a pro style offense, you know. He's got that Jimbo Fisher quarterback guru tag to him. I think it's good enough for him to get drafted. I got a 6th round grade on him. So again, if anything, like, he has tools that you'll like, but might not be any more than just maybe a backup potential developmental quarterback. Next on the list is Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. Goodness gracious, Kenny Pickett, man. This guy, cannon for an arm. That's the thing, dude. While in 2019, yes, he was throwing the ball downfield, but it wasn't really with there wasn't much zip. There wasn't much accuracy. He wasn't throwing into windows. He was really dropping it into buckets, if you know what I mean. But this season, I think he's improved very much at that. Like, the kid's got pretty darn good arm strength. Like, he'll put he'll put the ball on a rope at some points. And that's the thing with him, though. He's got a powerful arm. He's putting more zip on those passes that are like 20, 30 yards down the field. But still, I think where I have a problem with is he's not like when it comes to the big game. Like, he kind of dudded versus, no, not kind of, but he did. He dudded versus Clemson. But I mean, you could be like, okay, who hasn't? Look at Derek Keen. But then he followed that up with next week against Georgia Tech with a similar outing. And Georgia Tech, while their defense isn't bad, by no means is it great. So there are, like, I do question bits and pieces of his, I guess, his overall accuracy. But again, I mean, the guy, he's got arm strength, like, teams will love, and I think that will get him drafted in the later, maybe the early day 3. So the tools are definitely there for Pickett. There's still stuff to like about him as a prospect. On to Desmond Ryder, dude, out of Cincinnati. So we were talking about tools, and Ryder just beats Pickett because of his freaking athletic ability. I think, honestly, only Trey Lance is probably the only, well, I guess, is the better athlete outside of Ryder in this draft class. Like, this, what he does with his feet, pretty diggity darn special. I like that he's taking more shots downfield this season, and he's got a strong arm, like just a flick of the wrist and that ball is flying. The thing is, he does struggle with accuracy. Like, while he'll make these big time throws, like in windows, he'll whiff on wide open passes. Keep in mind, also in Cincinnati, they play in kind of an RPO heavy scheme. So there is that. But again, that's why I have an early day 3 grade on Ryder. Like, he's got those tools. It's just not all there quite yet. He's still a phenomenal prospect if it's someone you potentially want to develop. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I think he's very comparable to maybe a Jalen Hurts. So I like Ryder. He's a solid prospect. But yeah, I mean, it's important to point out the red flags with these guys, especially if, like, I'm gonna get hate for calling him a 4th rounder. Let's go on to Jamie Newman here, man. I loved Jamie Newman in 2020. Thought he could potentially come out, be a 2nd rounder, and then I got even more excited when he decided to stay and then decided to transfer to Georgia. Because keep in mind, the thing with Newman, he was one of the most deadly downfield passers last season in 2019. This guy was one of the most accurate deep ball passers. And then those final 4 games, things kind of fell apart when Sage Surratt got hurt. In bigger games, for instance, Clemson, but that was a pretty scary defense. He struggled, and he comes out. He also comes out of a very heavy RPO scheme. So that's why I was so excited about the move to Georgia and be able to play within an offense where he'll be hopefully asked to make more short to intermediate throws. See that interaction at the intermediate level. See him go through progressions and such. So I was super excited for that. But then he decided to opt out. Literally never played a game for Georgia, and it's like, now I'm in this spot where it's like, where do you put a guy like this? You know, like, I don't know. We won't be able to tell much till the off-season process really starts with Newman. It's quite unfortunate, but I mean, I think right now 3rd round is as high as I can put him. You do like the size, you like the athletic ability. I mean, he's right up there with Ryder in terms of athletic ability. So I got Newman here, and then we're jumping to Mac Jones, and boy, people are high on this cat, and I don't blame him, man. He's really been good for Alabama, playing around a lot of talent there at Alabama, but he's been really good. Why? Like, dude's pinpoint accurate. Like, his accuracy, amazing. Like, his timing, like, I think only Trevor Lawrence is more accurate as far as adjusted completion percentage. and throws the ball quick. Well, I say throws the ball, gets rid of the ball quicker. So going through progressions, making decisions, getting the ball out of their hands. Only Trevor Lawrence is quicker at that. So yeah, you would think, yeah, this sounds like a solid prospect to me, and he is a solid prospect. Where probably everyone's gonna have issues with this guy is his arm strength, or lack thereof arm strength. Like this guy, I mentioned earlier about dropping it into buckets. Drops it into buckets. He's not gonna put the ball on a rope. He doesn't shoot those lasers. You know, he's not gonna throw 40, 50 yards down the field. If he does that, that ball is gonna hang in the air. Basically have his receiver sit under it, call a fair catch, essentially. Not really, obviously that's an exaggeration, but those are kind of the worries. Does that mean, okay, he's a bad prospect? But no, that does not mean he's a bad prospect. Like I said, you can get by. Like where most NFL passes go down is the intermediate, the 10 to 20 yards. And that's where he does a lot of his work, man. Where he does a lot of his work. It's not like he's asking Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, even Najee Harris, because he's a phenomenal receiving target, to do all the work for him. It's not like a dink and dunk. Nah, dude, he's catching these guys in stride. He's making good calls. Another problem with him, though, again, he's not the most mobile quarterback, but when he's forced to be outside of structure, when things get a little more chaotic, that's kind of when the bad decisions surface, which would be typical for any quarterback. But if you're looking for these guys to be, you know, your next face of the franchise, the next quarterback of the future, you kind of want those guys to thrive under pressure. And that's not really necessarily the case. Not that he sees a lot of pressure there at Alabama, but kind of, for instance, the Arkansas game, you know, he put up a couple of bad passes when he was forced to be outside of structure, you know. That's kind of what killed Brock Purdy's stock this season. Because, like, he started struggling outside of structure. He was struggling at things that over the last 2 seasons he was very good at. And that's why he's probably going to come back in 2021, and why he's not on my rankings list. So, for what it is, man, Mac Jones, a lot of people want to throw the Joe Burrow tag out there. I don't think it's there. I mean, I think it's comparable, but this guy's not Joe Burrow. I can see why people make that association. I think he's probably a high-end version of Gardner Minshew, and I know a lot of people will hate that, but I mean that in a good thing, because I think a lot of Gardner Minshew. So take it for what it is. I mean, I like the guy. He's a great decision maker, but this is why I have the second round grade on him, and I think that's fair. Let's go to Kyle Trask, man, because this guy, I got a late first round grade on him. I don't have him ranked much higher than Mac Jones. Just simply put, man, this guy, he's done everything I think he needed to do to prove that he can be a first round quarterback. The dude's got the prototypical size, prototypical arm strength, and that's the thing, man. In 2019, the guy was just kind of sitting in the pocket and not taking shots downfield. He was a so-so decision maker, literally a statue in the pocket. The dude's not mobile whatsoever. Least mobile quarterback probably in this draft. And it was just taking hits. There was no feel for, the blitz, but he's so much better this year, especially downfield. I mean, just looking what he's got 40 touchdown passes this season. Ridiculous, man. The guy, this is what I needed to see. There are a bit lapses in that decision making. For instance, the LSU game, there was a couple, but I don't think. I think he did enough to win that game. I thought he played for the most part pretty solid. I mean, one of those interceptions was really just a fluke, and you know exactly the one I'm talking about. The guy literally, he put it. What was it? It was on the sideline. The guy is like, say this is out of bounds. He's going out really only where you can put it. Like, what, you're going to have your guy have to reach out of bounds, potentially take a step out, and have it be incomplete, where you could be like, okay, yes, the incompletion is better than the turnover. But I mean, he put it where his guy, could catch it. It just bounced. And then it bounced off the LSU lineman player's helmet. to the other guy's hands. Like, hey, listen, it was a wonky play. I'm giving him benefit of doubt on it. And who can anticipate Marco Wilson throwing a shoe? Was that game really his fault? But I think he maneuvers the pocket a bit more comfortable this season. And again, the guy's got the NFL look, which you could say, okay, that's an old school mentality, but it's still one that scouts and teams take into consideration. So you can't exactly just throw that away. But hey, man, I think he's got enough talent to be a first rounder. Now, Trey Lance coming in here at 4. A lot of people either love or hate Trey Lance. And it's understandable. While his arm talent, like, there's one of two things with his arm talent. Cannon for an arm, dude, literally, I mentioned how Desmond Ryder just flicks his wrist. Same thing goes for Lance. He flicks his wrist and the ball go flying. A lot of people will say he is not a very accurate quarterback, to which I think that's fair and unfair at the same time. Because keep in mind, dude, his 2019, he dominated. Granted, it was lesser competition, but you want great prospects to dominate lesser competition. They're supposed to do that. And then the people that don't like him as a prospect point out, look what he did to Central Arkansas this season. Given 2020 and everything that's happened, probably the lack of practice and work he got to put in the off season, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. The dude's still a vicious runner. He's not like Kyle Murray or Lamar Jackson. It's probably more similar to like his running style to Cam Newton. The dude had 40 broken tackles in 2019 for North Dakota State. But yeah, okay, yeah, he's got a cannon. He's got probably the best athletic ability in this class. But yeah, there is some real, like, he does need to improve upon his accuracy. But keep in mind that North Dakota State offense, he only averaged about 18 pass attempts per game in 2019. So they weren't asking him to do much. And his average depth of target was over 11 yards, which that's actually a lot compared to probably any of these quarterback prospects. So I'm not, again, I'm not making an excuse for him, but I'm saying the guy's got very good tools. And I think he's well worth a top 15 to even top 10 pick. While he's probably not as potentially surefire as the guys ahead of him, he definitely warrants maybe a top 10 to top 15. You could make, I would say his accuracy is comparable to Josh Allen when he was coming into the draft. So yeah, Zach Wilson, BYU, man, here at 3, man. He is a phenomenal prospect. A lot of people want to call him a one-trick pony, not a one-trick pony, but a one-hit wonder. And I don't think that's fair because, like, yes, his 2020 has been amazing, and he was a bit inconsistent, and he dealt with a lot of injury in 2019. But 2018, he was pretty solid. It's just his 2020 has been just special. This guy has phenomenal arm talent. He puts the ball wherever he wants. He can make any type of throw. The guy is great. And like, it doesn't matter if it's off the back foot, if he's forced out of the pocket, have to throw on the run. This guy puts the same amount of gusto on the ball as he does if he's got his little 3 to 5 step drop and go. So he is phenomenal. He does have a bit of a running upside, not comparable to, Lance, Ryder, even Newman, but he does have a little bit of that. But this guy's been phenomenal this year. He's been special. A lot of people want to be like, well, couldn't beat Coastal Carolina. Yeah, but he played a great second half, and especially the final drive was phenomenal. By no means could you say he lost that game. Be like, he threw a pick. It was a Hail Mary at halftime. Shut your mouth. The guy's a great prospect, and I think there's reason to be a debate that he could be ahead of the number 2 guy, Justin Fields. Justin Fields he's had one hiccup this year, being Indiana, but Indiana's proven to be a very good team this season. Granted, it's been in all of 5 or 6 games, but again, we're talking about pinpoint accuracy. That's Fields. I know a lot of people are like, well, can't be trusting these Ohio State quarterback prospects. There is no comparison between him and Dwayne Haskins. Dude, like Fields, his average depth of target, much more than Dwayne Haskins. Haskins, he relied on his playmakers to get yards after the catch. He relied on a screen heavy underneath. Boys, get me yards. Here's my little 4 to 5 dump off. Go get them. That's not Fields, dude. Like, all right, let's take a look at his air yards. What is it? I think it's over 70. Is this it? Yeah, almost 72% of his yards this season have come through the air. That's a good. It's a very good. This guy puts zip on the ball. If you want to really nitpick, he's a bit conservative with the ball. He'll hold on to the ball for a little too long. But he's got great athletic upside. I think he's a very good decision maker. He can make plays with his feet. I think he, like, we all know it's Trevor Lawrence at number 1. So between Lawrence, Fields, and Wilson, I think easily these are like top 5 to top 3 prospects in this class. I would say even, yes, I would put Wilson over Sewell. Simply, position value, Position value matters. So let's talk a little bit about Trevor Lawrence. Don't really have to talk much about him. He's one of the best quarterback prospects we've seen in quite some time. He can make plays with his feet. The dude you want to talk, I was talking about Zach Wilson making special throws. Trevor Lawrence makes special throws. I mean, what? I was talking about, what was it? Mac Jones. Like, only Trevor Lawrence had a better adjusted completion percentage, which is actually better than Burrow's from last year, who went number 1 overall. And only Lawrence got rid of the ball quicker. Lawrence is the standard. Lawrence is phenomenal. You could say, oh, he had those accuracy concerns against LSU. Well, you know what? He's been great this year. The team would be undefeated if he could have played the Notre Dame game. He's good. I'm glad to see he gets a second shot at Notre Dame. But man, Lawrence is just, he's just phenomenal, man. The guy's everything you want in a quarterback: arm talent, leadership. He checks all the boxes. He's number 1. But that's it for the video. Let me know who I should include in this list, or just leave a nice, simple hello in the comment section below. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.